Thank you, Celine. Good morning, everyone. Great to see such a terrific turnout this morning for the first Mayor's Breakfast event of 2025. Bienvenue à la première série de petit déjeuner du maire de 2025. And it's really terrific. Did everybody get a beaver tail, by the way? I'm so glad that Grant is here, and we're supporting a great local business. There's no tariffs on beaver tails, so we can all enjoy them. But look, a lot has happened since the last time we gathered for a Mayor's Breakfast, obviously, as you all know. The new U.S. President has been sworn in, and he's had a few things to say about Canada, as I'm sure you've heard. The Prime Minister announced he's stepping down, and we're into a Liberal leadership race now. The Premier called the provincial election, which is tomorrow. And of course, in addition to all of that, Canada won the most important hockey game in the world. We're all still celebrating that and also getting used to cheering for Brady Tkachuk again. That's a bit of an adjustment. Mais avant d'accueillir notre invité ce matin, je voudrais prendre quelques instants pour parler de notre situation en tant que ville. Before we welcome our guest this morning, I wanted to take a few moments to talk about where we're at as a city, what's ahead, and how these big changes impact our community. As many of you know, I was born in Ottawa. I've lived my whole life in this city. Ottawa has always been my home. And I have to say, I talk about this all the time, it always amazes me to see how much the city has changed over the years during my lifetime. My kids are not growing up in the same Ottawa that I did. There's so much more happening in the city now. We have the Senators, of course. We also have the Ottawa Charge and other professional sports teams. La vie nocturne est très animée, nos festivals et nos restaurants sont de classe mondiale. We have an amazing, vibrant nightlife scene. Our festivals and our restaurants are world class. Ottawa has grown into a dynamic, diverse, and exciting city. And I love that my kids are growing up in this version of Ottawa. But I have to say, for the first time in a long time, I've been thinking about the city that they will be living in 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Nous sommes confrontés à une grande incertitude économique. We're facing a lot of economic uncertainty, not just because of the tariffs, but also because of the potential for federal job cuts and other pressures. The federal government's talking about reducing its downtown footprint by as much as 50%, which will have a huge impact on our core. And you may have heard there was a recent ruling by the federal court in favor of the federal government who are not paying their fair share of taxes in Ottawa. That is disappointing to us at the City of Ottawa. Our city staff are reviewing that decision to determine the next steps. But regardless of the ruling, regardless of what happens in court, the clear evidence remains that the federal government and its agencies have been underpaying their taxes to the City of Ottawa for years. To me, this is not an issue for the courts. It's an issue of simple fairness, and I'm going to continue to fight for our fair share and ensure that the burden that has been shifted to local taxpayers is addressed. Ottawa City Council who are here today are going to join me in that fight and have been with me all along. We're also facing many other challenges, as you know, including building more homes, building more affordable homes, addressing homelessness and food insecurity. These are big, big challenges that demand bold solutions. Tomorrow, Ontario is going to the polls in a provincial election, and then in just over a week from now, the federal Liberals will choose a new leader. And after that, we could be looking at a federal election in the very near future. And as your mayor, my job is clear. I will work with whoever is in office to get the best outcomes for Ottawa. I will fight for our fair share, and that is why I have worked very hard to develop a strong working relationship, a partnership with both the provincial, progressive Conservative government and the federal Liberal government. And because of that, we have seen real results for Ottawa. As you all know, a couple of weeks ago we made a historic announcement. Provincial leaders have promised to upload Ottawa's LRT, which will significantly reduce risk for local taxpayers and also save us literally billions of dollars over the coming years. That is truly a game changer for Ottawa, so we will be working hard to follow through on that commitment. We will also work hard to protect our local economy from tariffs and the potential impact of federal job cuts. We're going to continue to work with the Board of Trade and the amazing work that Sue Ling and her team have done on revitalizing our downtown. And we will do all we can to support the most vulnerable in our city in a time of significant need. A couple of weeks ago, I established the new Mayor's Economic Council, bringing together the leaders of our major economic development and business organizations, many of whom are in the room today, including Sue Ling. We've already met a couple of times, and we're tackling these issues together. We're working together to make sure that we are confronting these challenges. We also passed a motion at City Council to review our procurement practices to ensure that we're buying local and buying Canadian. And we're launching a new marketing campaign to encourage everyone to shop local. We're working hard to make sure that we are buying local and buying Canadian. We're encouraging residents and businesses to do the same. And let's also remember that we have an extremely complex economic situation, and there are many local businesses that sell products that come from other parts of the world, including the United States. There are businesses here in Ottawa that employ local people, like a furniture store or a local car dealership. They might be selling a product that originates in the United States or in parts from the United States, but it's still an Ottawa business that employs local people. Il s'agit toujours d'une entreprise d'Ottawa qui emploie des personnes de la région. So we all have to be careful and strategic about our buying decisions. So we are supporting local businesses, but we're not causing collateral damage to our local companies and workers. On top of all of that, I've been working closely with Mayor Gatineau on regional priorities, because when we speak with one voice, we are stronger. C'est en partant d'une seule voix que nous sommes plus forts. Since the 2002 election, I've been talking regularly about Team Ottawa, and I think when I started using that term, Team Ottawa, I think a few people thought it was kind of corny at first. But today, it's never been more important. We must work together as a city, as businesses, as community leaders, to protect and grow our local economy, to create jobs, to revitalize downtown and the Byron Market, to support our most vulnerable, to build more homes. Because just like in that hockey game from last week, this is a moment that calls for teamwork and leadership and decisive action. So let's get to work and let's keep working together.